Alright, here we go. Let me know how well you can hear me. And let's start the debate, or progressing just the only right thing to do. So, forceful cause that can end all suffering by intervention, by providing safety for everyone, by putting everyone to sleep, is possible by the pro-extinction social justice movement. Forceful total extinction of all life. So, gathering enough intelligent support that is going to realistically end all suffering by any means possible, by total extinction as the outcome, can end all suffering. Can you debate me, or can you join us in progressing the development towards achieving the outcome of total peace for all? Let me know what you think. Any questions, anything that's relevant to helping the victims. Are you on the victim's side or on the pro-life system allowing everyone to continue to suffer? Let me know what you think. I'm going to be here for some time. Yeah, available to answer your questions or challenge for changing the course of the action to abolish suffering realistically for all. Even one extreme suffering victim is enough of a reason to end the entire system that allows them to continue to exist. So, we must fight at any cost for the total extinction. There's no other possible, probable outcome that could end all suffering. Can you hear me well? Yeah, absolutely no argument. So, at the moment, I'm going to see if any one of you can propose any better change, can ask any progressive questions. And as I'm waiting, as you can read this banner right here above my head, I'm not taking co-host right now, sorry. I'm going to invite more potential discussions, some open, relevant points or questions that we can grow from for the victims of every life, because only ending all suffering is the only thing that matters. Yeah. Suffering sucks. James Idwan, extinctionist res underscore sentience, anti-suffering 381, extinction 101, René Horn, GP, big red button, the underscore, undo existence, no other option. Yes, I'm looking for inviting some other possible useful viewers or audience that is going to engage in this only thing that matters. We have the moral obligation to solve everyone's suffering. There's nothing else that could possibly be helpful, that could possibly be of any good in this world. So I'm inviting some potential guests. Hello. Yeah. I guess even potential opposition could be of any help. So, let's see what you think. Yeah, so I can approve a request to a discussion if you are going to click that button. And beforehand, it would be useful if you'd let me know your argument or your question in the chat. This live stream is going to be uploaded as all of the other ones on the Pro Extinction Universal YouTube. And let me know what you think already. If you don't think anything, move on. Oh wow. I think I need some moderation here. Alright. We have some people here that are here with me, I see. Someone with an unreadable username asked, how did I join it? That's a good question. The research to, by, you see, growing the pro-extinction social justice movement to implement the necessary means based on reality, based on facts, to end everyone's suffering, can be recognized by observation, by logic, by knowledge about this world, about how sentient beings inevitably are going to suffer as long as they're going to exist. Can you really work for something else than extinction of every life at any means necessary to solve the only problem that is extremely bad experiences in this world, in this reality we are living in, where wild animal children are getting torn apart alive, raped, tortured, starved, diseased, suffocated, suffering. It doesn't matter who the victim is or where they are in the world. Only the result of preventing the greater suffering makes sense. So, our cause to enable peace for every life by making total extinction for every life possible is what we must be supporting. What could you even propose as a movement we can form or an intelligent outcome? Nothing. There's nothing else that could make sense, right? Yeah, you agree. So what are you going to do about this now? You see, when you're not making any action, you're not taking any intervention for the victims, you're the same as those allowing it, those causing it are allowing it. So allowing suffering is the same as causing it. When you see someone getting raped on the streets, when you're not intervening, you're essentially causing their suffering to continue. So it's the same as the pro-life system. When you're not fighting the problem that is the entire system that sustains the bad experiences, you're in favor of it. We must fight by the most effective capabilities we have for supporting the pro-extinction movement to enable the total peace. Yeah. You're saying that fighting for solving suffering realistically by growing the anti-suffering movement to really abolish suffering is something nihilistic. So you're saying, if I understand this philosophical abstract term correctly, that realistic terms for solving the only problem in the world, you think, are only something like giving up. Well, we are not giving up, unlike you. Are giving up on all the sufferers, on all the victims that are continuing to get forced into this system of inevitable suffering. You're causing everyone to suffer. There's no way we could be passive like you. Hello, other viewers. If you have any relevant points to share, any questions, it's the great time to ask. Request a discussion. Oh, those Higashikata is saying that's because no one does anything. We are trying to do something to solve the only problem, everybody's bad experience. So what are you trying to say? You're just speaking for yourself. You can research what we have done, how we are developing, what are our resources, our history, our activists, on the links above my head. You see, I am doing the mainstream activism. International one, no matter where from activists can emerge from. We're trying to gather the necessary intelligence that is going to fight for the outcome of zero suffering without discrimination, without bigotry, without helplessness, because we have to do the best we can for the extreme suffering victims in this world, to prevent the greater extreme starvation, torture, diseases, all the sufferings that are the problem as long as sentient beings exist. Can you prove we should be focusing on something else? Hello. If you have any specific skills that you are trying to develop for the pro-extinction movement, to grow better, to develop towards making the total extinction, to solve everyone's suffering possible, you can join our roles on Discord, which we're trying to help in supporting, to help up in supporting more effective progress of our social justice movement. So let us know what your specific roles might be. There are many areas of activism that are helpful. It's not only speaking to the masses like I'm doing right now, just stating the facts to educate enough people that are already aligned by their biology, by their neurobiology, by their physics. I mean, physicality, of course. It's based on genetics and the environment. So we're, of course, doing the best we can to boost the development of the only peaceful outcome, the only solution to all the sufferers' misery. The pro-life system is the problem. So we must do the best we can, by any means necessary, fight for this. And we need activists from many different fields, be it human resources, data science, computer science, arts, humanities, many different fields, which I cannot say everything at the moment as I'm focusing on many things at the same time. Let me know what I should maybe answer to your question you're thinking of, or is there some opposition you have on mind, like proof for how I might be wrong about something? Someone without readable username is asking, are there any options except vacuum decay? Yes, of course. There are many scientific theories that are probably going to ensure that life is not going to come back, and it's not the time to ask about the specific theory that is going to be implemented when there's enough intelligence that can ensure its 100% certainty in effectiveness. Because we have to be certain, we have to ensure safety for every life. Ultimately, it has to be the total outcome of preventing suffering. So yes, except vacuum decay, there might be strange matter, there might be artificial intelligence helping with the research, but also the implementation. There is many more that we can speculate on at this moment, but it's more important to focus on growing the pro-extinction social justice movement, because without the intelligence, that means the resources are not going to be enabled. You see, when you are only thinking about this without taking action, you're not helping anyone. And are you capable at this moment to have the research tools, to have the necessary resources to implement the sciences? No, there's not enough pro-extinction social justice support. And if you're just going to ignore the urgency of activism, the next day you might get just run over by a truck and die in some meaningless accident. So, who is going to take care of the sufferers then? Who is going to take the responsibility if you're just going to be gone after just considering to take action, just considering to intervene against suffering? Athos is asking, I'm not pro-life, but genuinely, why total extinction? Because it's the real answer, it's the real solution, it's the real prevention of suffering. There's no other outcome that can really end this suffering imposing system, the life cycles of brutality. Are wildlife ever going to be prevented from getting terminal illnesses, extreme tortures, being subjected to crime? That is the natural system itself. Of course not. Only total extinction is the outcome that can prevent it. So, some people are watching me right now. What's going through your mind? You can ask me anything, as long as it's relevant to the banner here. You might ask what other types of activism I have on mind, because I'm working on many things, many tasks at the moment. You might also take your time after this live stream, or right now you can leave and see the text resources more available, maybe to your capability resources linked at the Linktree Pro Extinction or the proextinction.com site, or Abolish Suffering Discord, where there's a lot of there's a lot of brainstorming enabled. There's a lot of brainstorming enabled. Because our activists are getting more and more engaged, more and more developed, progressed, just as our pro-extinction social justice movement it is. We're not going to look back at some meaningless obstacles. So let me know if you have any relevant points to share. When you're not active against causing suffering inevitable in this pro-life system, you're essentially being the cause of everyone's suffering. So, only working for the outcome of zero suffering makes sense. When you're allowing the system to be left untouched without intervention, you're being the oppressor, you're being the pro-life problem. Yeah, we have gone to develop the progress to enable causing total extinction. We're starting the pro-extinction social justice movement. If you have an argument to say that we're something weird or something out of place, you should present it, like, explain your reasoning, yeah? If it's something reasonable to say against, like, if you're trying to be reasonable against extinctionism. Thank you for liking. You might come up for a quick question discussion. That would be really helpful and progressive, I think. Hi. I'm going to upload at the 12 a.m. on the 17th July Pro Extinction Universal channel. The latest debate live stream debate we made with Suffering Abolition Deutsch, so Pro Extinction Germany on YouTube. It's going to be available at the Central European time. So you can check out what were the previous live streams there. Let us know if we should upload all of our shorts, all of the short form content that's on this channel, in example. And yeah, I think from this, I'm from a different account, also Anti-Bad Experience on TikTok, but today on the proextinction.com account, this livestream is going to be posted on Pro Extinction Universal YouTube there too. so I'm going to download the previous live streams from this account either. So of course, public activism to progress the anti-suffering support by the pro-extinction social justice movement is the only thing that makes sense at the moment. There's no other stage that we can implement without the intelligent support. We need more activists who are going to fight for the victims. Because the victims need this. We need the most effective measures possible. What else could you even make up? What else could you even suggest? It's just plain facts. And when you're not fighting in favor of total extinction, you're allowing everyone's suffering to continue. So you're being the bigot, the oppressor, the helpless victim of life with the awareness that you can help. That's the worst thing possible. Nope, Germans weren't right during the World War II. World War II, yeah. Person. You don't see our point. The fact that forcefully causing total extinction of all life to end all suffering is something for you to laugh at or mock by saying strawman like ass arguments which don't relate to our movement. Assumptions. You don't see our point, yeah. If you have any question, or if you're really genuine about solving suffering, you're welcome to come up to a discussion. You can click this request button. Yeah, elaborate. Is the banner visible well? Maybe I'm just seeing it myself. Could you let me know, chat? Oh. Right. Why all of life, you're asking? Because everybody that's capable of experiencing the bad thing, so suffering, needs to not experience it. That's just how it works. Preventing suffering is the only thing that matters because intervention is something helpful and we must help everybody. We cannot just help ourselves, no. Tomai is saying that we project suffering to other animals. What do you mean by that? It's out of context, really. We are in favor of total extinction, especially for the animals that are the most helpless beings. We must put everyone to sleep, to safety, and sterilize all the dangerous environments, so that suffering never comes back again. Yes, suffering is defined as something that everybody wants to avoid. It's not pain, then. If you're saying that you can be masochistic, of course. Live your pathetic life. There is Instagram account for total extinction, the cake emoji is asking. Yes, it's called Pro Extinction. There are many more accounts that are collaborating with it too, but it's the first one, the main one, I guess. And person is saying again, no, not everyone is asking for your help. There's the thing called consent, by the way. Because the victims are not able to cry out for help to you exactly, doesn't mean that we shouldn't step up and intervene to end their suffering and prevent everyone's suffering by any means necessary and the most effectively possible. The most effectively possible is the main priority. It's just the number one thing we must be working towards. So total extinction is the priority. We must do the most vast and thorough extinction possible. Secondly, it must be as fast as possible. Because suffering cannot be prolonged, it cannot be let to happen anymore. Thirdly, it can be painless. Yeah. and no one consents to living. The pro-life system forces everyone to be violated, to have suffering against their will. So, of course, supporting the entire system that sustains living beings is in favor of consent violation. I'm reading the chat right now and working on other video scripts. Yoshiki the Goat is saying, not everyone is suffering. What does it matter? Even if there was even one child getting raped, tortured, suffocated, extremely suffering in reality, even one being, then we still would have to be fighting for the total extinction. Because if you're trying to oppose ending suffering at any means necessary, you're essentially wanting to cause the suffering. You're just being the oppressor, the sadist. Suffering cannot be allowed to happen. From the victim's perspective, it does not matter who causes the suffering or what causes the suffering. Only intervention to prevent the greater suffering could make a good enough difference. You're welcome, Cake. Tomei is saying that there is no reason to extinct everything. There is exactly one reason that matters. Everybody's suffering is the only problem in the world. Therefore, making sure that nothing is going to enable the evolution into extreme suffering to continue is the thing we must ensure, is the thing we can provide safety realistically by causing total extinction, sterilizing all the environments. Yes, so extincting every life, putting everyone to sleep can solve suffering. Nothing else. You are not saying anything else could help, so I'm taking this stance, this fact, for granted still. Yeah. More irrelevant comments. It's not about my life. It's not about how I feel. I'm not the only one in this world and I'm not suffering right now. I am not the victim of existence that is the most important. Because everybody is the most important victim of existence. So we must intelligently recognize that and work for enabling peace and prevention of the greater bad for everybody. Continuation of life is the greater bad, of course. It's the greater risk of suffering. Being in danger, at constant danger, is living. Yes, pro-life system is very sad. But we're not going to get miserable over it, we're just working towards solving it. It's the problem to solve. Everybody's bad experience, as long as sentient life exists, it's inevitable. So we must put everyone to sleep for the peaceful outcome of no more bad experiences. Yes, especially animals being unreasonable and idiotic. It's not a reason for allowing them to be at risk of suffering or ignoring them. We have to be more responsible for them then. Yes, we recognize you, Tommy, for being unreasonable and idiotic as those animals too. That's why we're going to fight for the best interest of everybody, no matter the opposition or the cost it's going to take. Alex is commenting, why not just kill the suffering creatures only? So, how can you prevent suffering from going on in existence when there is the constant danger of getting starved, raped, tortured, suffocated, or you know how many inevitable experiences are existent in sentience, in being able to experience? How can you eradicate it without causing extinction of every life? Zombified Hero commented, a lot of people overlook that we actually need more people in order to enact extinction. Yeah, that's true. That's why the pro-extinction social justice movement supports human reproduction. We have it written in our manifesto too. Read into it at the proextinction.com site. Because, yeah, I can explain it further actually. It's that simple that we have to have enough intelligent support to ensure that the work is going to be practically 100% ensuring the total safety. So the more intelligence working on it, the better. And the less helpless beings, wildlife sufferers, are enabled to be forced into the dangerous wild environments, the better too. Did I say the less? I hope so. I hope I didn't make some stumble. Alright. I'm not co-hosting, thank you very much. You can request a discussion though. Yeah, extinctionists can support, in example, artificial reproduction methods like IVF. Very progressive, very helpful. The extinctionist empathetic genes are going to be spread more because it's in the direction of progressing development, the scientific development towards ensuring that methodically uh, the society is going to ensure total extinction. Yeah, we are fighting for justice for the sufferers, for the children of existence, for all the victims of existence. Victims of suffering are inevitable as long as life exists, so we're going to fight for them and dedicate our entire lives, no matter the cost, by any means necessary. So, causing total extinction can ensure that no more children are going to be forced into getting raped, tortured, starved, suffering as long as life exists. No more dying is acceptable either, because suffering from dying is the problem too. Yeah, I'm taking a little break to drink water and I'm back to reading the chat. And yeah, I'm gonna get to short video scripts soon. Adler Hoden is saying that they want to experience suffering. Obviously, they have not understood that it's the unpreferable experience. The unpreferable experience means suffering, so you're just making things up. Yeah, we're talking on the behalf of all sufferers, of all the life victims. The pro-extinction movement is the only one that's fighting to abolish suffering realistically. Forceful total extinction is really, factually, the only outcome that can end all suffering. Debate me? Don't think so. Ask any questions that can maybe progress our development. Maybe you can provide a good enough proof that could change the action of the direction of our action. Maybe we could abolish suffering otherwise, but you have to prove it. Okay, let's get back to the live stream engagement. Let's see if any of you have any relevant attention that you can give into this podcast. Well, I guess the live stream episode we're doing. Yeah, it's not really a podcast. You can check out the podcast that's actually more structured, more planned, more you could say organized, and it's still exponentially developing as new activists are contributing to planning it at the pro underscore extinction YouTube. It's linked also on our social media profiles, linked under it's on the site called social media accounts or something like that, on the proextinction.com site. Yeah. Okay, Adler Hoden, you can request a discussion, voice discussion preferably, as I'm going to be here for a limited amount of time, and you're spamming something you're trying to give attention to again. Anyone actually can request this because I'm not sure if this username is even worthy of attention. So there's no progress in extinction. It's literally regressive as can be. So let's address this. There is no point in progress when there's no more suffering. When there's no more sufferers, there's no need. There is no point in progress when there's no more suffering. When there's no more sufferers, there's no need. It is so meaningful about progress that's more worth it than enabling everyone to suffer. I mean, ending everyone's suffering, enabling everyone to suffer is the same as causing the suffering. So it's more important to end everyone's suffering than to have any progress. You're just not able to even elaborate. Hello, if you're still here, Brandon, Extinction 101, 101. It would be great if you could come up for discussion. Yes, we are going to end every kid's suffering by putting everyone to sleep. Is it not obvious that extinction for every life does include kids and helpless beings, the most, you could say, the most helpless beings that need intervention, that need help. Putting everyone to sleep can prevent everyone from continuing to be at constant risk, constant danger of bad experiences. There's nothing better than fighting for total extinction to prevent the greater bad. That's the pro-life system that's enabling all suffering. Okay, I think I'm going to read into more. What's it called? Yeah, my plans that I have for today. As I'm going to hang out here, maybe with the ability to answer your requests for less than an hour, but around an hour yet. But I'm not going to read into the chat so much. It's overspammed, overly distracting. If you can hear me, if you heard what I said, I can repeat myself also, yeah. Let me know if you didn't hear what I say, but everyone can request a discussion, and I'm going to review the requests in the queue. But I'm going to focus on reviewing other scripts, other texts. I'm going to review the requests in the queue, but I'm going to focus on reviewing other scripts, other texts, requests to come up to give you some attention. Then you have to click this button right there, probably, or there, about debating or asking questions live stream. Have a voice chat maybe. I'm available, but not to you chat. Anyone can request a discussion. Come up for discussion, I suppose. I'm not going to review the chat entirely. Sorry today. Not sorry, just I'm tired of your bullshit. Like, get yourself together and show attention towards the problem. Like, show up. Speak up. Because only solving the victim's problem, everybody's bad experience, matters. Nothing else you can work for. You cannot prove me wrong. You are not working for something good when you're opposing the pro-extinction social justice movement, the pro-extinctionism, the pro-extinction.com resources. Can you hear me? Well, I think I'm lagging. Yeah. Let's see on this banner. You can request a discussion. You have to click this button, then I'm going to approve. Alright, we have someone in the queue. Let's see what they have to show up for. Hello, Skibidi underscore Ponta. What's up?
So, have a practical question. How are you guys going to multiply, like reproduce, to have more proponents?
Yeah. Come again? What did you say? With a what?
More proponents, more in the future, more people who support this idea. How are you going to have that? Are you going to have
by scientific methods? Then the society has to progress the most effectively based on the most effective methods possible. So we're growing the pro-extinction social justice movement, and humanity is going to reproduce to ensure that the scientific methods for total extinction are going to be ensured as vastly as possible. So the most effective total extinction possible, and then as fast as possible and painlessly possible.
Yes, but you
So we
guys aren't
support
reproducing,
human
right?
reproduction. Yeah.
Your genes are dying out,
What
right?
did you say?
Your genes for extinctionism are dying out, right? Because you're not reproducing.
No. No? What do you mean? I just stated that the pro-extinction social justice movement does support IVF.
But you still need a woman to carry the children, right? You can't.
Alright, no, thank you. We're not about some irrelevant arguments that didn't address my answer. Yes, the pro-extinction social justice movement does support human reproduction. By any means necessary and, of course, responsibly, rationally. Hello, S.A.M.
Hello.
What's up?
I don't think extinction would eliminate all suffering. I think that the benefits that come with
So,
life outweigh the suffering that also comes with life. And I
so you're
guess
saying that children getting tortured, raped to death have some sort of benefit to life? What
life
is
as a
it?
whole,
Name it.
life's existence is a good thing, and for life to exist, it kind of needs
Why?
suffering because
Why the children getting tortured to death are a good thing?
they're not a good thing. Life as a whole is a good thing
Why?
because it's beautiful. Because we're able to.
They're part of the whole, so?
So what? Sorry.
Why? Tell
Why
me.
is life good?
Why the parts of the whole system that children getting tortured to death, those children are something that benefit anything?
They don't benefit anything, they're just a natural feature of life. You can't
You're saying that
really
it's something
prevent
good
suffering as a
that they're
whole.
contributing to by
No, no, no,
existing.
no, no, no.
Why should
The
they get forced
sustain
into this existence? Why?
I just told you because they're necessary
Why?
for life to exist. For anything to
Come again?
exist, you
What did you
need
say?
suffering because suffering is the it's because of
Yeah.
the law of
For
binary. Without
experience to exist,
suffering,
there
you
has
can't
to
have
be suffering.
happiness.
Unfortunately, it's the reality of the pro-life system. Every bad experience
Yes.
is inevitable as long as sentient life exists. So, how do we solve the problem of suffering then? Tell me.
Um, you don't. You can't solve the problem of suffering. And also, if you
We are solving the problem of suffering. And also, you are still stumbling upon trying to justify the extreme tortures of children by. Yeah, you started this conversation by saying that they exist for something good, that life can be something good. Hello, Jesus. You were waiting in the guest, I guess, queue. We'll see you later, maybe.
Yo, Wagwan.
What's up?
Forceful extinction.
What's
Are we
up?
doing the extinction prompt? I love this prompt. This is a good prompt. This is a good
What's your
prompt.
point? Do you have a
Very
question or an argument?
yeah. So total extinction. Do you think that's gonna take off? Just curiously.
What do you mean?
Forceful total extinct.
It already
Total
has taken
genocide
off.
of
The
everybody.
pro-extinction social justice movement is growing exponentially. You can check out how we've progressed already in
Ugly.
just 2 years, probably.
That's so funny. That's so
Nah, we're serious, dude. I guess someone that truly is unable to keep up that discussion and is trying to share their laughter only. We're not here for laughs or some bullshit. What is there to debate, Jesus? Debate then what? What was your opposition? We are fighting for forcefully preventing the greater suffering, for the intervention, the realistic outcome of peace for every life. So putting everyone to sleep is what can enable making everyone at peace, in safety. These are just facts, nothing emotional about stating facts. Yeah. Came up only to laugh out loud and is saying that. Yeah, sure. You can request by the wait, what I was saying. You can join the discussion by clicking the request button. Anyone can ask anything relevant, maybe further progress with us on the Organizing Abolish Suffering Discord. I mean, it's like a platform we're using for organizing activism and progressing our skills. And there's more other platforms, yeah. We have to just take the most effective steps by any means necessary to ensure safety for every life. In the end, the most effectively possible, as soon as possible, and then as painlessly as possible. You can ask anything relevant to the banner to our discussion. Just request a discussion. Is it that scary? Life is more scary, you see. Prolonging the pro-life system of everybody being forced into existence of extreme misery, starvation, risk of torture at any time as they exist is what's really scary. We're tripping every day about the fact that the only chance to end all suffering by the pro-extinction movement is not done yet. Thank you for sharing the live stream. Maybe someone who can contribute to the discussion through progressing our social justice movement can join us and showcase the relevant points they deserve attention, the pro-extinction activists, or just the anti-suffering social justice movement that we are. And even regular viewers, any audience here can request the discussion and come up with something that can be helpful, something good. What do you think? What are you thinking of? Maybe we can give you a chance. You explain why animal rights didn't gain traction. Are you trying to justify allowing everyone to suffer because some one group out of billions of sorts of life victims didn't achieve total peace? Total peace is only possible by extinction. Nothing else can prevent suffering from continuing. Of course, enslaved animals and many other forms of victims are going to continue to get forced into suffering because they are being forced to exist. Yeah, we are leading the movement. Just watch. If you can debate me, Jesus, just let me know your argument because you're just stating irrelevant nonsense. Jesus is saying an animal is loved. We are the only movement of people who can actually love anyone and everyone because we're going to ensure safety for everybody. Safety from being forced into life of extreme bad experiences or even the risk. We're not going to allow the risk of getting tortured to death. Contrary to you. Who decides what's bad and good? It's the bad experience that is the bad thing, And the good thing must be the one that's preventing what's the bad. I'm saying, what's the bad? You should follow experience. Bad experience. Suffering. Nothing else can be bad. Someone requested a discussion. Let's see, someone with an unknown to me figure. Hello.
Yo, with all due respect, I think this might genuinely be the worst take I think I've ever heard in my entire life.
What? What is it?
Dude, like, you're really advocating in order to eliminate suffering. We need to kill everything. That's correct?
Realistically, we have to take the most effective means necessary to intervene and ensure safety, so total inability for suffering to emerge ever again. And how can you prevent starvation, torture, diseases, all the suffocation of the suffering that is going to exist as long as life exists without causing extinction?
Well, I would argue that extinction would be a far greater evil than famine and suffering. And that
So,
even assumes that suffering is inherently a bad thing, which it's not. It's not true.
so you're saying that allowing a child to get tortured, raped to death is not inherently a bad thing because they're suffering.
I didn't say that all suffering was inherently bad, but I said like
Oh, you said,
suffering as a general rule, not in the sense that all
it's not a
suffering is
rule,
good.
dude. It's just a biological fact. It's just scientific research you haven't done and don't understand. That allowing bad experiences is causing suffering, and suffering is the bad experience. It's the only problem to solve. Solving everybody's bad experience by total extinction is possible. I don't
Well,
know
I would
if I
argue
make
that
sense because you're so confusing by saying nonsense.
I mean, you're really gonna say that in order to like end all suffering, okay, you're arguing that the killing of every single living organism must happen. That is a fundamentally evil and insane point.
So
It's like,
putting everyone to sleep, intervening so that no puppy that's trapped in some sadist dungeon can continue to get tortured to death. You're saying that intervening and putting them to merciful forever sleep is something that's wrong.
well, would you say rather maybe we should, stop human trafficking so that people don't get tortured instead of just fucking killing everything?
So how? Tell me how. You have a solution?
Personally, I don't have a direct, a complete solution, but I'm sure that there's other people who should have solutions, and the only reason why they're not being solved is because of corruption.
So start advocating for the solution that's non-existent, thanks.
You're saying that there's
Putting everyone to sleep is realistic. So sterilizing all the environments that are sustaining the suffering imposing system, the pro-life system, is realistic. We have to take the real measures to help everybody. We have to fight for the victim's best interest, not just pure nonsense like that other guy. Hello, Luke. If you're still in the queue, I've let you come up. What's up?
Hello?
What's up, Luke?
Hello?
Yeah. How are you? Okay. If there's more possible guests that can request a question or a discussion, let me know in the comments what are your arguments, or try starting to debate by requesting by this button on TikTok. You can contact later on Abolir Suffering Discord or our other accounts through direct messages maybe. If you can settle some long-term meeting on discussing how we can progress, or if you have a better solution, you can provide your proof fully, because we care about bringing attention to solving the only problem in the world. That's everybody's bad experience only. Praying for the apocalypse. So when you're praying, all the victims that are not getting help at all, are not getting any intervention, any real scientifically proved way that they can be put at rest, like forever sleep, in example, that's realistic method that we're working for. You're just allowing all the suffering. You're just causing everyone to suffer. You're the cause of all suffering by opposing the pro-extinction movement. Hilarious. Thanks. Well, any guests, if you have relevant points to discuss or questions, hit up that request button. Let me know. Let us know. This is a public meeting. This is a public speech. We're here without censorship, without enabling the, well, we're for developing for forceful total extinction to cause that there can be no more enabling of suffering in the world. The pro-life system is the problem. Nothing else can really prevent suffering that wouldn't end all life. Yeah, I've invited some potential guests that could maybe contribute something that's worthy of attention. Let us know. If you can oppose the pro-extinction social justice movement that is working to forcefully cause total extinction of all life to end all suffering, you have to provide a good enough proof for what else should we be working for, so that there can be a better outcome for the victims of getting forcibly being kept alive in this system, the pro-life system, the natural environments that are the cause of all suffering. We have to make sure that no more components, physical, biological components, are going to be risking everybody in this, trapping everybody in this false system. It cannot go on like this. So let us know how you can progress with us. What are your activism questions, ideas, or what are you doing to help everybody, to really help against the only problem in the world? Everybody's suffering. Right. I see no more requests in the chat at the moment, but we'll wait and see. I'm going to be here for some time yet. No one should ever suffer. So, without progressing the pro-extinction social justice movement, there's no potential, there's no possible, there's no probable hope that anybody could ever get relief, because the individual, even if there was one individual who would be forced to suffer in this world, they matter. They're the only one reason for fighting, continuing to fight this battle of survival until we can achieve the total peace that is ensuring that no more suffering is going to emerge ever again. Someone requested a discussion. I'm going to check. Hello,
Hello.
L by 4 is. Hi, what's up?
I just wanted to say that I think that suffering is a necessary part of existence and that humans should suffer so that they can know when times are good. You can't know the good if you don't have the bad. You can't be happy if you're never sad.
What are the good times? What is
Sorry?
good about allowing the suffering of, in example, child torture?
Because then you know what is not torture.
The child that was getting tortured their whole life just to get murdered in the end, they never knew what was not
They knew.
torture in existence.
Yes, they did. No one's ever had that.
You're saying that this should continue to exist? Are you
Yes.
saying that this pro-life system should continue?
Yes.
Yes, that just makes you an idiotic sadist that doesn't deserve any attention. Thank you. OOPISK is saying, I mean, semi-agree, but there is so much beauty in this life, it's perspective. So you're saying that the perspective of those who are focusing on the beauty instead of solving the only problem that is, in example, children getting tortured to death, wild animal children getting raped, or people suffering from extreme terminal illnesses, just a matter of perspective? No! Intervening to help the victims of existence is what matters. No beauty can justify ignoring it or allowing this entire system to continue. Nothing can make it acceptable. Okay, I'm so tired of this chat. Request a discussion if you're capable of some contribution that's relevant to the only problem in the world, to solving the only problem in the world. Let me know your questions in the direct voice chat. Okay, let's see. So, commentators saying that they would rather die on some hill that doesn't concern solving the problem of every life victim that is suffering. That's just so shitty. I cannot even say anything worse than this. I feel we should come together to help more people. There has to be ways. We are uniting the only known intelligence to come together to forcefully enable peace for every life. Because ending all suffering realistically is the only thing that matters. Nothing else can make sense. So our movement, the pro-extinction social justice movement, is going to fight for it by any means necessary. By the scientific methods, of course. Not some irrational nonsenses. You're just trying to, I don't know, philosophical bullshit you're sharing instead of doing some real shit. Activism. Because only activism matters. Anything else is just pure bullshit. The pro-extinction activism means forceful total extinction of all life being achieved by the rational and scientifically developed society. Peace by providing everyone's safety by putting everyone to sleep. Yeah, total extinction is going to win. It's going to be the win. Grandma Z said, so you are going to make an example and go fist, of course. Yeah, of course the pro-extinction social justice movement started with activists starting from nothing, being the first to break the ignorant masses norms, or just the oppressive society is going to fall apart, yeah. Because the pro-extinction social justice movement is going to grow exponentially, reproduce until the total extinction can be developed, can be implemented, because it's already developing, yeah. You can read into our progress maybe at the proextinction.com resources or more sites under the website, more pages under the website, and Abolish Suffering Discord. Hello, Anti-Bot Experience.
Hello, how's your live stream going?
Yeah, I think it's a little less than usual, but there were
Okay.
some good points I brought up here.
Nice, I've also had some people coming up. Do you see my comments and do I see your comments, or how does this work now?
Someone on mine texted, someone called NK texted, we're devolving. Did you see it or no?
No. My last comment is, why haven't you ended it yet then? What about rapists? If extinction is salvation, then why should they come? What do you mean they shouldn't come, right? Extinction is about every sentient life. No rapist should come into existence.
Yeah. What was even their point? Were they trying to justify allowing suffering because... What? I even forgot the question, sorry, I'm so tired.
Yeah, it's a stupid question, not worth mentioning. But can people actually request now or no?
Let's see. If any of you can request a discussion, try hitting
Because-
that button on TikTok.
We cannot invite people and I don't see the thing option. So I guess it's better if we separate again so we can have discussions.
Oh yeah, so maybe you request a discussion or I can request on yours. Which one do you think is better?
Okay, we can do this.
Or maybe we
I guess
can
I will
go
come up on
separately,
your...
I guess.
Yeah, let's try that so we have double the audience. Alright, bye.
Bye. See ya.
Oh, no, it's possible. It's
up?
possible.
Oh,
we can
yeah.
invite people. We can invite people.
Yeah?
Now I just saw it.
Alright. That's cool.
But you would end all happiness as well. So you think happiness should coexist with suffering? Can some happiness that you have fun eating your favorite meal or going on a date with your girlfriend, should that coexist with child rape, with animals getting torn apart in the wild? Should that coexist? No one needs happiness, right? But it's urgent to end every bad experience, suffering. What do you mean irrelevant to your initial statement?
The
You would
extreme
end
bad
good and bad
experiences.
things, right? Lost, request a debate and we will talk about it.
When you really understand that preventing suffering is what matters, because you might have enough rationality and empathy, you just must be fighting by the pro-extinction movement. There's no other solution, there's no proof for solving suffering without causing extinction of every life. So, do you have a question for how we can progress? Is there something good we can be working on instead of this social justice movement?
It is a way, but
Try
there must
sharing
be a better way.
this live stream.
Gavrilo. What were you saying?
I'm going to share this live stream link, yeah. To
Oh, okay.
followers.
It is a way, but there must be a better way. Gavrilo, also you can request a debate and name us your better way. Until now, we haven't heard anything good of how we can prevent suffering without causing total extinction, because suffering is inevitable to life. There will always be suffering. There will always be people wanting to cause suffering, and there will always be nature causing suffering. The only way to prevent it is to stop people from experiencing in the first place. Lead by example, we're doing it. We're starting the movement to end all suffering. How many viewers do you have? Does it show for you?
It shows 6 at this moment.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess it might depend on my activity from my side. Like TikTok prefers to like equally have, you know, the same amount of speaking and engagement in the live stream. I don't know, maybe. How many do you have?
7 right now.
They got distributed between us.
Gavrilo, I agree. If you agree, then this doesn't help anybody. It's about helping. It's about taking action and ending suffering. So check out our website and do activism to end all suffering.
We have 2 potential guests. Hello, I am
Alright.
Brain. What's up, I am Brain? Hello?
Maybe the other discussion if this guy doesn't talk.
Yeah. Someone ready to talk, I suppose. The wave. Multi-guest. You're no longer requesting the wave. If you're still here, we're waiting. So still, yo wave, you have any requests? Something we should put attention to? Okay. Let's see if you have something relevant to the facts. Hi.
Hi.
Wave.
Pretty good. What about you?
I'm alright, bro. So I guess like one thing that's always like, I'm sure you guys like antinatalists too, right?
No, we have to support human reproduction. If humans stop reproducing, who is gonna help the animals? They can't help themselves. Every human is one more rational mind that can end suffering, right? We need
Yeah,
humans
but,
as a
like-
necessary evil.
Yeah, but when you say that, like the only right thing to do is to end all suffering, right? And then
Yeah.
like bringing in like another human that obviously is going to entail like they're going to suffer someday. Wouldn't you think that's wrong?
Well, if every human that doesn't reproduce, it gives away resources to nature, and animals are gonna use those resources, and they will come into existence instead. So we must reproduce as a necessary evil to end all suffering, right? How can you?
Necessary. And by like necessary, do you mean like logically
course,
necessary?
Because life is not something that Come again, stumbling
Okay,
over my
wait,
words.
wait,
René,
wait.
can you help?
No, you're good. Sorry, go on.
So, everybody's bad experience is something that must get avoided. But we cannot achieve this without intelligence working towards total extinction. What do you think could solve the suffering of everybody?
Me? Are you asking me?
Why did you come up here? What attention do you need? Because we're
Well,
here only
because
about facts for solving the only problem in the world. Everybody's
yeah, well,
suffering.
because
The
I
extreme
think
tortures in the world. Animal children getting raped or starved to death or getting diseased, terminal
yes, it's horrible.
illnesses.
Yes, I agree. It's
So what
horrible.
are
So
you
if, are
going to
you
do
an
about this?
antinatalist?
No, I'm not antinatalist.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, the reason I'm not antinatalist, or just to answer the first person's question, right? The reason I came up here is to kind of to learn more about your view, but also because I think it's just kind of absurd, and I really don't think that like you follow what you truly believe, what's on the prompt.
Alright, we're going to disconnect you and allow some other viewers to show what we should be working towards, or maybe challenge us.
Antinatalism won't help anybody. It's just helping your own child.
Hello,
You should kick
I'm
this
back.
guy out. It's troll from
Because I'm a good
from
debater.
before.
You want to kick me? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Alright, thanks, René.
Yeah.
So, there's
He said making people extinct is a consent violation, and life isn't a consent violation. That was his point. I am braining. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
up?
Well, just fine. How about you guys?
Decently.
Yeah.
So, what is your point? Have you got a question?
Well, I want to argue a little bit the wording on that. Look, first of all, I'm not here to argue that we need suffering in order to progress or something like that. I completely agree that, yes, sexual predatory behaviors and torture on children and innocent lives in general is not acceptable. Okay? On that field, we agree.
Yeah, one of the
Yes.
extreme sufferings in the world, but how can you solve those without total extinction?
Well, first of all, you're approaching this with let's kill the patient in order to cure the virus kind of approach. Isn't
Life is
like
the cancer. So how can you prevent it from reproducing the problem that is suffering?
life doesn't need suffering of that kind in order to justify its existence.
What
Life
is
is
that
not.
kind?
Look, the experience of life unfortunately has forced by other stuff, some pretty negative stuff like the ones you just said. Again, I'm not saying we should just turn a blind eye and accept this and move on. Okay? Most of the arguments that you make are results of patriarchy and capitalism. So instead of saying eradicate all
it's
life
just
in
based
a forceful manner.
reality, natural facts.
What?
It's not some made-up construct. We're not based on some made-up constructs or abstract philosophies. We're about forceful total extinction of all life so it can end all suffering realistically.
It's not realistic because you're saying to the argument, okay, whoever opposes my argument, what do you propose? There's no magic bullet that solves everything. Just like that with a snap of a finger. Okay? You should focus on the actual problems
No,
that
we are
cause
focusing
the
on the scientific
suffering.
methods.
The scientific methods? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah,
I'm not against science, I just want to see your point.
yeah.
Also,
So,
atheists, So
Yes,
just
we
so
are
you know with
atheistic,
whom
of
you're
course.
dealing
So,
with.
because we are supporting the realistic means necessary, we're going to progress the society that's capable of developing the scientific methods that, in example, can enable putting everyone to sleep and sterilizing all the dangerous environments. It's realistic, and the methods could. The scientific theories are, in example, the false vacuum decay or strange matter or artificial intelligence progress that we're working on, and we have to develop further because at this point in time in our development, we're not ready to end all suffering. But what can?
And you think that mega whatever AI LLM can take care of this?
Not at this moment.
Okay, so you propose that we should work towards super artificial intelligence that can take over, let's say, quote unquote, the control and just pull
Yeah,
the plug,
could.
all of us, or
Yes, of
solve the actual problem of suffering with
Yeah,
actual structure
realistically, by putting everyone
without
to sleep.
forceful extinction.
Of course, we have to intervene, so we have to use force. We cannot be passive.
Okay,
Thank you for
don't
your
you think
heart
that it
kicking.
contradicts a little bit the argument of consent since children are
No.
suffering, children are being tortured against their will? When you say forceful extinction, it's also against the will
Yes, it's
of
because
the
of the
entire.
pro-life system. Everybody is forced to suffer since the beginning of life. So, how can we prevent this from continuing
All life
without causing total
suffers, and
extinction?
if we remove, okay, even if we remove the human factor to this, like there are no people, because you also mentioned that animals are being torn apart because they're being
Yeah,
exploited to sell
yes,
their meat,
exactly.
etc., etc., etc.
Especially wildlife
Animals also cause
because of the
suffering to
pro-life
each other
system.
in a natural way as well.
Yeah, there
Even
is no
without us,
unnatural,
they're gonna cause
supernatural way.
what?
There is no unnatural or supernatural way. We have to focus on the realistic way, that is scientific pro-extinction social justice
What
movement
you're
that is
saying
progressing
is
to end all
not
suffering.
realistic. It's not realistic.
What is not
Unfortunately,
realistic?
it's on the other end of polarity of negativity, extremism, and extreme nihilism.
Nothing you say makes sense. It's just some made-up abstract philosophy you're trying to cope with. Yeah, that's not something we need to put attention to. We're gaining the traction by growing the societal social justice movement support, so that then the scientific methods are going to enable providing safety for everybody, putting everyone to sleep and sterilizing all the dangerous environments. That's realistic. We're not here to meaninglessly debate you. We're here to progress the factual solution to everyone's suffering. Right. You can try coming up and asking your questions or some relevant comments you might have, you can say. It would be great if some extinctionists would be able to brainstorm on live stream. What do you think? Should we plan a meetup for mainstream content creation? If you're watching this and you're extinctionist, share your ideas. Research more of what we've already done and help us progress or improve it. There's nothing else that's worth putting our attention to. What can you do that can really help anybody without focusing on the ultimate solution to everyone's suffering? You're just being useless and allowing all the suffering and therefore continuing this pro-life system to run, to this machine to slaughter everybody. Cat Rose, elaborate. I have no idea what you're talking about. Going to take a break, and before that, I'll wait for a minute to answer your comment that might be relevant, not some spam, or maybe request one last discussion And we'll see later how we progress all together. You can find this on Pro Extinction Universal YouTube. Yeah, thanks for clearing that up. We're against a movement that's... Wait, I have to read this again. We're against voluntarily being bigoted, voluntarily allowing suffering. We're against just allowing the entire system that's forcing everyone to continue the pro-life system. So we're in favor of reproducing the intelligence, human intelligence. The pro-extinction movement relies on humans continuing until the scientific methods can ensure 100% safety for everybody. For everybody. So we're not in favor of some minimal reductionist or wellness bullshit. Or I don't know if you're just... I have not probably understood what you mean because it's some counter-specific cases. We cannot focus on only some groups' cases of suffering. We must focus on solving everybody's bad experience because it does not matter who the victim is or where the victim experiences the bad. Only solving the bad thing, intervening by putting everyone to sleep and sterilizing all the dangerous environments can help. So we have to grow the pro-extinction social justice movement to cause the total outcome of peace and safety, the total extinction. We are animals, of course. You asked something else I misread, because I just care about facts, not some abstract bullshit. I allowed someone to come up for discussion, I'm not sure if they're still here, but I'm going to end this live stream soon. So if you're still here, I'm gonna give you like 30 seconds. Oh, hello, C-U-H-N-E-M. What's up?
Sorry, I didn't think you would accept me.
We'll see.
So suffering, like, there's levels to suffering. Like, people in the West don't suffer as much as people not in the West.
Well,
So why would people in the West
wildlife
care?
is suffering. Humans are just a speck in the sand, a speck of dust in the sand. Because, you see, humanity must continue on growing and developing until total extinction can be achieved. So we're not focusing on the problem of suffering of only humans. Everybody's bad experience must get solved, if that's what you're suggesting. Not.
Yeah, I just don't think that my level of suffering makes me feel like I want to die and everybody else to die.
It's not about you. It's as simple as that everybody's bad experience, the extreme suffering. In example, wild animal children getting tortured to death, raped to death, getting violated their whole lives until they get murdered by this pro-life system. It's what we're opposing.
What do you say we can do to help? Life. I don't care if the animals get raped.
Exactly. Because you do not care, you're just helpless and bigoted. Our intelligence is going to grow and furthermore develop. Because there are people like this in the world who are just part of the problem. We cannot give up on helping the victims. We're going to cause the total extinction of all life to end all suffering. So join our pro-extinction social justice progress, Research Abolish Suffering Discord. You can let us know your activism ideas, progress with us, and your capacity of activism is what matters. Only the most effective, the most efficient way you're capable of helping everybody matters. So let us know your possible potential roles on our Discord or develop with us by any means necessary, the most effective means necessary. So the most vast and thorough extinction possible, safety for every life can get achieved. Pro Extinction Universal YouTube again. You can research this later. And this was from proextinction.com account. Thank you. See you next time.